Greetings, parents and members of our wonderful community. My name is Sarah Morley, and I'm an education major at Georgia Perimeter College. I'm speaking to you today to persuade you to take back the power of deciding the way a child gets educated. In becoming a future educator, it is my duty to teach what is best for my students. I will teach them the necessary life skills in order to survive and think for themselves. This has been one of the major changes in education over the last 35 years. These changes can have a dramatic effect on the education of our children and their future. In 2010, the state of Georgia adopted the Common Core Georgia Performance Standards. These certain state-led criteria are taught from kindergarten through the 12th grade, and they have become controversial not only in the state of Georgia, but the United States as well. You can go on the Georgia Department of Education's website and find these standards. They, quote, ensure that all Georgia students have an equal access and opportunity to master the skills and knowledge needed for their success beyond high school. This is quoted from the Georgia Department of Education. The 10th Amendment states that all powers not delegated to the United States Constitution, nor prohibited it by the states, are reserved to the states or to the people. Education is not included in the federal Constitution. Therefore, it should be left up to the people to decide what is best. Unfortunately, it's not. It's left up to the National Governors Association, along with funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and a few other organizations that make up the process of creating these standards. Now, currently, each state approves its own Board of Education, State Board of Education, which is responsible for adopting these certain state standards. The federal government encourages these boards to adopt these certain standards with federal funding. Now, if the states want this federal funding, they have to adopt the Common Core standards, or they don't receive the funding. Some of these fundings are the No Child Left Behind Act, set in 2002, and the Race to the Top Act as in 2009. Georgia received $400 million of these federal dollars, to accept the Common Core standards. Now, once you accept the Common Core standards and receive this federal funding, you can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. Now, studies have shown that the Common Core Georgia Performance Standards are similar to the Georgia Performance Standards that were created back in 2004, sorry. But there are many differences. You can find these standards on the Department of Education's website, gadoe.org. Before Common Core, English students were reading and personally relating to the literature classics such as Huck Finn and the Canterbury Tales. Now they have cut out these classics and replaced them with informational texts such as articles and newspaper articles and speeches. Now they have to base their evidence on the informational texts rather than their own experiences. Also, rather than having books on each child's reading level, Common Core now requires each student to read the same book whether or not it is beyond their reading level. Math has also received a huge change. Now, before Common Core, many students were taught algebra in the 8th grade. Now, most algebra is being taught in high school, 9th grade. The last math that they take would be Algebra 2, which means they don't learn pre-cal, which is also a requirement for some of the Georgia colleges. Most students don't comprehend the material that is being taught to the student under these current standards, which leads to the failing test scores that accompany with these standards. This has a dramatic effect not only on the students, but the teachers, the school district, and the community. If the students don't pass the test, everybody blames the teachers. It's not the teacher's fault. When the school fails, the district receives less funding, and this ultimately affects the community. Currently, the Common Core Georgia Public Standards affects 1.7 million K through 12th graders in Georgia. According to the Department of Education, 2013 College Ready Career Performance Index Roughly 72% of all Georgia high school seniors graduated in the 2013 school year, most of which weren't college ready. There have been no recent tests or studies that prove that these standards are effective, which means the children are being subjected to experimental education. There are many ways that we can take control of our child's education, and the first most important way is to eliminate the Common Core Georgia Public Standards and leave it up to the educators of each state to create the standards that we are teaching each children. Leave it up to the parents and the children parents and teachers who know best, rather than big multi-million-dollar companies and organizations that have no interest other than the monetary interest of the children. There are many organizations and parents out there and senators that are committed to ending the Common Core performance standards, and many have been removed from some states such as Texas and Indiana. So in conclusion, I would hope that I give you some valuable information about the Common Core performance standards and prepare you in the aid of fighting for your child's education. They are the future, and it is our job to teach them right. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.